Welcome to another hot lap. This is by far the hardest hot lap that I've ever done. Um, this is a challenge against the World Tour's top players who drive the car that you're looking at on screen all day, every day in World Championships. And therefore, those people are very, very good at driving this car. This is not an easy car to drive, which is why it is the car used for the Gran Turismo World Championships. This week's challenge is to try and get within 3% of the world champions, within 3% of the world record lap time of this week's lap, as always. And this is extremely difficult. It's a really short lap, which means that 3% is actually a really small window of time. And we're up against people who drive this car professionally for a living, even though it's virtually. So to be a bit different this time, and just to give you a feeling of just how insane this was, I'm going to play the lap first at full speed, and then I'm going to try and comment on how the hell I did this. The time that I needed to get within that 3% was a 100.85, and that 85 is relevant because I managed to get an 86 about 5 or 6 times. And then this magic lap happened after about 3 hours of practice. So what you're about to see is me having practiced for hours and hours, really trying to figure out how to drive this car, then trying to put together the lap where everything came together in one go. Every corner, you have to push this to the limit. You're going to see some absolutely insane techniques to get around these corners in ways that you didn't expect to be able to get around them. So enjoy the lap at full speed, and then I'll commentate. Coming around to start the lap now. There you go. That is the lap at full speed. So I'm going to now try and humour myself by commenting on how I did this. But I definitely know how I did this. But actually saying it and then doing it are two different things. So obviously we've got this chicane to go around before we start the lap. So I'm just going to take it easy through the chicane, get a nice tidy start to the lap, really maximise the speed that I crossed the line at. So here we go, we're coming across the start line, and basically now I'm keeping the car as far to the left as I can. If we go off board, that is how far I'm keeping the car to the left. Right, there's literally no extra track. I'm on that white line. So you have to practice really hard to be able to drive the car on a white line at 192 miles an hour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go even further across, because you see there's this little bit of tarmac on the left. Now you can't use all of it, but you can dip your wheels across the white line just to make the track about 10 centimetres wider. And those 10 centimetres are going to allow me to carry around 1 or 2 miles per hour extra through turn 1, which is this right-hand corner. We're just going to lift off the throttle as we turn in, and I'm aiming at the little guard post on the right-hand side, on the inside of the corner. If I sort of try and steer into that, I'm going to just run wide of it and stay on the track. And then as the corner exits, the corner actually widens out on the left-hand side, and I'm going to run the car all the way out to that left-hand side. So here we go. Lift, hit that curb, and then run the car all the way out to the left-hand side. So in one motion, that's keeping an apex speed there of 180 miles an hour. You lose a little bit of speed scrubbing the tyres down to 177 there. And then the car's got to sort of pick up torque again, because the other thing with that corner, by the way, is it's just between 6th and 7th gear. So I'm keeping it in 7th gear to keep the car stable, but it does mean that I'm just slightly outside of the rev band. This is a track where these sort of decisions have to be made really carefully. Right, now we're heading towards a horrible corner because, as you can see from my view here, I say from, say, this view, which is the view that I actually use, you cannot see the next corner. It's there somewhere, and it goes to the right, and it goes downhill. So it's a completely blind turn-in and braking point here, and the only way to really gauge the braking point is to use this line that's across the track, and also this booth here. So you don't really want to be braking on this line, it's just a bit too soon. But just as you cross the line, maybe as you pull level with this booth on the right, you're going to see now. So I get on the brakes, and the really important thing here is that the corner first goes left, then goes right. If you try and steer the car to the left, it's going to understeer, and you're going to end up going straight down the hill, missing the turn. The other tricky thing about this corner is the apex is still blind. The apex is somewhere over on the right-hand side, and it's about to appear as you're committing to it. So you still can't see it. You still can't see it. Now you can see the apex. It's that little curb on the inside there with the yellow and the blue. So, you know, we've already scrubbed off the speed and started to turn in long before you can see it. How do I do this? Well, the trick is to use the colour of the tarmac. The tarmac is dark where the rubber has been laid down, and if you use that to guide yourself into the corner, it's almost like having the racing line on in games, except without having the racing line on. It's very important to shift up as you hit the curb, otherwise you're going to spin the back end. So you can see, there we are, I'm on the curb and I'm short shifting straight into 5th. And if I just sort of zoom out here, so this is how far away I am from braking track limits as well. So I've just kept a tiny bit of my wheels inside the track, and you can see if I'd taken it any further as well, I was potentially going to bounce the car, and I did actually get a bit of a bounce just there. So I'm having to straighten the car up now. You can see that I'm aiming right into a left-hand corner here, which is something that I always advise against. But you've got no choice because these corners come so thick and fast. So now I've just got to gather that car up and run it down the hill. So we'll go back to this view, and now this corner, this is a bit of a daredevil corner as well, because the ideal line for this corner is on the grass. Okay, the world record players are actually having the right-hand wheels completely over the grass and the left-hand wheels on the curb. Don't ask how that's realistic. I think a real car will probably just spin, but in Gran Turismo world, that's how you take this corner. I'm not quite brave enough on this lap, so what I'm doing is I'm cutting across this curb, but not going all the way over onto the grass, and I'm getting the speed scrubbed off just as I start hitting the start of the curb. So you can see we've just ran over the start of the curb. I'm on the brakes there, the brake lights are on, and you can see I'm straddling the curb. I don't take it any further than that. But the important thing is get the car into this left-hand curb. And then what you're doing here is you're using the left-hand curb to suck the car into the corner. Right. So once I'm on this curb here, because there's a change in grip level between the curb and the tarmac, this is going to jolt the car, and it's going to make the car steer naturally to the left. Okay, so what I'm seeing here now is that the car is settled and I'm able to get on the accelerator, and you don't really see it here, but the back of the car has started to twitch left, and you can see it more there, that this momentum, the car is still trying to twitch to the left even though it's running out wide. I think this is what is called rear slip. So I'm running basically with rear slip, where the car's moving forwards, but it's crabbing to the left. And I'm just aiming to keep my tyres inside this first piece of rumble strip. So the small, narrow piece of rumble strip here is the track limits. And you can see here that I've just managed to keep a tiny piece of my car inside it. So very lucky in a way. This is why this lap took probably 100 attempts, because the number of times I was 1 millimeter too far to the right and lost the lap time. Yeah, it happens. Now, you've got just the shortest straight ever to settle your thoughts, because I'm now laser focused on this piece of tarmac to the right. So you can see here, there's this tarmac here, and just as I pass the start of it, I've just passed the start of it. I'm off the brake. I'm on the brakes, and I'm taking this corner at 4th gear, and I'm just trying to turn across. You turn across as you cross the white lines, or where the tree is on the left, whichever you prefer. So you can see now I'm turning across. Now I made a slight mistake here. If I just go off board, look how much room I left on the inside there. This is bad, Chris. I lost about 1/10 of a second here, just by not getting the car turned across quite as nicely as I wanted to. But then I got on the accelerator nice and early, and braking for this corner is a bit of a chore as well. I've actually gone past my braking marker here, but my braking marker is this weird piece of paint on the tarmac, where the paint's been removed from the tarmac, let's say, the dark lines. So I'm braking on the first of those, and you're about to witness me do something a bit clever with the brakes, or with the gears, rather. So what I'm about to do with the gears is I'm about to go down a couple of gears and then back up a couple of gears. Down a couple of gears to get the nose of the car into the corner, and then back up the gears to stabilise the rear end. So down there and straight into 3rd. So you saw I was in 2nd for like 1/10 of a second there, and straight back into 3rd. And this I really struggled with, getting the grip on here. Getting the throttle on here. So you can see that I'm just slowly, patiently bleeding the throttle out until I'm able to floor it. The sooner you can floor it, the faster your lap time is. And then we have the only reprieve on the whole lap. You've got this nice straight, just to think about what's happening. And at this point, I'm just going to pause the video. At this point, I was 2 or 3 tenths up on my best. This was a special lap. I'm getting a bit tired, and I was like, yeah, I just want to get this across the line, do the lap, and then I can go to bed. So as I came down here, I was planning what my approach to this corner was going to be, right? The ideal braking point is at this 200 board here, and you can see my brake lights are on. This is exactly where I braked, right? The 200 board. But if you brake hard and in a straight line at the 200 board, what's actually going to happen is you're going to really slow down the car, and you're going to be going really slowly across the first apex. What you actually need to do here is to trail brake into the left-hand corner. So what you'll see is that my brakes come on really strong. They're now on full brakes. But look here, I bled the brakes out. Look at the bar on the left of the speedo. I'm now half braking, yeah? And I'm just now easing off and coasting the car across the apex. This is necessary with this corner, and it's simply because you need to be taking the corner tight and sacrificing apex speed on the first corner. But as I said, if you brake just as hard as possible, you're not going to be able to get the front end in, and you're going to be turning in too late. So you want to turn and take an early apex on this corner and keep your car to the left-hand side, which is what I do. And you can see that I'm mowing the lawn as well, which is exactly what I intended to do. And then this was the only bad bit here, is that I really wanted my car to be angled like, I don't know, maybe an extra 5 degrees to the left, just so that I could sweep into this apex. But right now, I've got slip again. So the car is slipping there, and you can see it slipped across half a car width, which has tightened this apex to the right-hand side. But so I do lose actually 2/10 of a second against my personal best here. But the rest of the lap was so on it that it was still enough for the gold. So you can see here, I'm just trying to ease off the accelerator, get the car across, and the goal here is just to straighten it out and get on that full power as soon as possible. And then, nice and easy across the line, just sweep it across, and there you go. There's the lap. So that is a guide on how to drive this ridiculous car as fast as possible. I'm absolutely spent after that, and this is literally the day before the deadline to enter this lap. So there we go. I'm off to bed now, and I'm hoping that the next time trial is nowhere near as hard as this one. So thanks for watching, and good night.